Funding for Maryland State of Mind is provided by the 13 institutions of the University System of Maryland.
And reflect upon the molten magic of some artists at work whose medium of fire and sand forges a dazzling, sometimes startling body of work. It's all coming up next on Maryland State of Mind. Artists have long loved the medium of glass for sculpture. Its fluid lines, its transparency or opacity all inspire artisans to forge crystal creations. So it is at Salisbury State University, where an impressive new program in studio art glass is taking shape and molding students into artists of fire and art. Now, as you'll see, the contemporary glass movement is not bound by practical applications, only by the artist's imagination, which can be startling and sometimes even shocking. But no matter how their work is perceived, it can definitely be described as a glass act.
You open the furnace the first time. I've had students who were tenuous about fire. They open the furnace the first time, they're scared as hell.
Yeah, I mean, one wrong move and you could just put a big hole in your hand.
The idea is when you open, you want to open it up flat. They draw that glass out and start working it, and you see it in their eyes. Okay, gotta do it again. And then 8 hours blowing glass a week isn't enough for them. Right on, it's gonna be a sherry glass, mate.
I love that. I get a rush out of it.
It's addictive.
Hot glass is an ancient addiction. But glass blowing as art is newly arrived on the eastern shore of Maryland. At Salisbury State University, 2 young faculty members are making a name for themselves and for their school with a new program in the art of glass. Danny Marder and Jennifer Kelting are transplants to Tidewater. Trained at the Art Institute of Chicago and the Tyler School of Art in Philadelphia, they came as missionaries with a message. Hot glass can be a contemporary and sometimes controversial art form.
I'm a sculptor. Glass is the material that was really most exciting to me, so I would make my work in glass, but it was sculptural work. A lot of the forms come from like that Chicago school split of surrealism. It's things that come from your mind, that come from your dreams, that come from your sketches. This material that's alive, this molten material that moves and that have that living kind of character to it. I have a history of being a photographer, and I see glass as being directly related to performance and to photography, and that you choose the moment to freeze.
Jennifer Kelting handles hot glass on a smaller scale, lamp-working images of animals in her home studio. And creating a controversial collection, found glass holding found objects, including Eastern Shore animals frozen in death. Unusual art with a dark urban edge.
What do I think about this show? If all great art evokes emotion, yes, this is art. Whether I like it or not, you know.
Art that explores death as a celebration of life.
I was just in awe after I began this collection of the physicality that a bigger creator or a bigger artist has made, and I wanted to present that to people, to have them be in wonder and in awe as well, and certainly inspired, hopefully, by what life is.
Can two young artists with so much urban edge teach Eastern Shore students how to turn hot glass into fine art?
See my students making art. My hope is that the students will take art and embrace it. They have a choice that they can make fine art.
The key to turning glass into a form of art is learning glass blowing as a form of craft.
The biggest thing about him coming from an urban area, I guess, would be his intensity as far as like critiquing work. He had an overwhelming presence, sort of like I didn't know what he was talking, like maybe he was talking over my head a little bit.
Everything starts with either a bubble or a gather. Physics command that bubble to do a certain thing.
I was kind of clueless, and I was like, geez, am I gonna make it through this?
So you need to learn how to make a perfect sphere. You need to learn how to make a cone. You need to learn how to make an inverted cone. You need to learn how to make a long neck bottle. You need to learn how to make a rondelle or a plate.
Sometimes you feel like you just want to walk away because you're like, oh man, you know, I feel dumb because I'm not doing it right.
If you can learn the basic forms and how to manipulate the material to make these basic forms, then you can make anything. So concentrate on that form.
Forms are so important. The shapes are just amazing, that what you can obtain, the shapes that come out of it.
If you can make a perfect clear cup, then color is going to be a whole new thing to mess you up.
It's really amazing to be able to shape things so spontaneously. It's so neat to work with something like that.
So you know that that's going to be cold, and you tap it off. You're good to go. You want to touch the bottom. Good job.
I was so excited. I just focused more of my class time on glass blowing than everything else.
I think that having a hot glass program in a state school is a tremendous draw. This is a brand new program at Salisbury State. We have a fully functioning hot glass studio, 2 furnaces, a very large glory hole, a small glory hole, copious oven space. They have the freedom to pretty much create anything they want to create.
Hot glass has its first home on the Eastern Shore, here at Salisbury State University. What work will come out of this new studio? The making of new art and the making of new artists. Perhaps even artists with an Eastern Shore edge.